everybody, I got Bob Stamper here with iSafe Security Complete Services. You are everything security, IT, networking, fraud. You're everything, Bob.
Well, I appreciate that, Randy. I don't know that I'm everything, but we do our best. You know, our mission is to protect our local businesses and healthcare providers and individuals from cyber criminals. They're on a rampage right now, and so we're just doing everything we can to stop it.
Education.
Exactly. And unfortunately, that a lot of is what it boils down to is making people aware of what they need to do and watch out for.
Sure, absolutely. And speaking of which, we have a very special month. Go ahead and name it.
Yeah, absolutely. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Excellent.
And so in celebration of that, we want to invite everybody to sign up for our weekly cybersecurity tips.
Yes.
And so every week you can get free email content that'll keep you up to date on new threats that you need to watch out for.
Okay.
You'll also get an email when we do a monthly blog post that's free as well.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So all free information. So go to our website, and can we put up a QR code or something?
We sure can.
So people can sign up. There you go.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. All right. So what is the website to make sure?
So iSafeComplete.com.
Okay, good. Excellent. And I know also you've got some great reminders. So tell us about those.
So we've talked about this the last two recordings as well. And so programs. And so we want to make sure that everybody's using multi-factor authentication.
Yes.
If you're not, be sure you turn that on for all of your sites and services, particularly like email and those kind of things.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, bank accounts. Your bank has probably already forced you to do it.
Exactly, right. They usually have, right.
So get and use a password manager because you really should be using a complex, unique password for every site and service you use.
Okay.
We know that that's impossible without a password manager.
Yes.
So get one of those. LastPass, Keeper Security, 1Password. There's a bunch of them out there. Just research that and find a good one that works for you. And then when in doubt, reach out. When you get a message that you think is questionable, somebody asks you to do something or provide information, even if you know the person, but if it seems weird,
and it sounds fishy.
Reach out. Make sure that it's actually the person that's made that
So pick up the phone, give them a call, talk to them in person.
Yep, absolutely.
Fantastic. And the recent threats here, Bob, we were talking about this before we started taping. There's some new phishing techniques, and we're at the Cane Pole Studios here right next door. We're not talking about that kind of phishing.
No, not that kind of fish. It's PHISHING. So we want you to watch out. There's a lot. Phishing accounts, by the way, for 97% of cybersecurity breaches and attacks. So usually somebody gets an email, they click on something, or a phone call, which we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
And the intent is to deceive and gather information that they can use against you to get information to, set up a bank account, steal your identity, and all that stuff. So one of the new things that we're seeing is the use of PayPal. If you have a PayPal account, people can go into PayPal. Anybody can. And request information from you. They can send you an invoice, and then they can use the description that PayPal sends you to make it look like it's a message from PayPal. So the next thing we're going to tell everybody on when you're checking for phishing email, one of the first things you'll want to do is check the email address.
Check the address.
And a lot of times you'll see that change just a little bit, like it may be, Gmail with an extra I in it or an extra L or something, .com.
Right.
Something's going to be off with that in most cases, and so that's one way to identify that it is a phishing attempt. Okay. So going back to the PayPal, because they're using PayPal's platform, the email is actually going to come from PayPal.com.
Okay.
So it's very important, though, that you pay attention to where the content is laid out, and if it's suspicious, if you haven't made a PayPal purchase,
something's up. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.
Right? So you can just ignore that and delete it. There's nothing to worry about. Again, anybody can do that, so it's not like you can stop them from doing it.
Sure.
But I have seen that used several times recently, and it's very convincing because it does come from PayPal.com. But if you look at it, it'll say usually above the content where it's like you need to call this number immediately if you didn't authorize this charge. Right above it or somewhere in there, it'll say the message from the user.
From the sender,
not from PayPal. So
excellent. Okay.
So very tricky, very deceptive tactics. Those two things to watch out for. Check the URL for the email address. Watch out for PayPal email messages. And then the other thing that we're seeing a lot of recently, and another uptick, it seems to go in waves, is the phone scams.
Yes.
And so we tell everybody, Microsoft support is not going to call you to try to fix your computer.
No, they won't try to call you.
If you're not paying whoever is calling a monthly subscription, they're not going
They're
to
not
call
going to call you either,
Yeah.
right?
And if you are paying them a monthly subscription and they do call you, unless you know that support technician personally, then we recommend still hanging up and calling the number you know, not the number they give you.
Absolutely.
But calling the number you typically would call for support to verify that it's the right company.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, I got one a couple of days ago, scam phone call from one of our finest here at the Madison County Sheriff's Office that said he was Josh Petrie, Deputy Sheriff, and I go, doesn't sound like Josh, and he's calling from Alexandria, Kentucky. Sounds odd for a legal matter. So I'm thinking, okay, I guess maybe it could, and it went to voicemail. I didn't pick it up, but I listened to it later. So I said, well, I'm just going to call this number. Well, it goes directly to voicemail. Hey, you've reached Madison County Sheriff's Office. And I go, oh, well, that's odd because they usually pick up in person.
Right.
Because, sheriff, police, first responders, it's emergency.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was odd. So please be careful on these phone scams. I don't know what they wanted me to give them, but I would like for them to call me again. That way I can answer and find out exactly.
You have a little fun with them at that point.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Bad information or something. I don't know. But so typically when you call back, you would get somebody and they would ask you maybe for a social security number, address verification, those kind of things. But
that's a no.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, but when you called it back, it went to voicemail. So that's probably a good thing that interaction didn't.
And I checked the official Madison County Sheriff's Office
Facebook
page, and they had a warning up there: watch out for phone scams and emails going around.
Absolutely. So that's another great thing to do if you're suspicious to reach out to the actual company. That goes back to our number 3 reminder.
Yes.
When in doubt, reach out.
When in doubt, reach out, please. Yep. Absolutely. And you can always contact you at your office for any kind of free updates and say, hey, Bob, I got this. What do you think about it?
Yep.
And you can tell them right off it's not true.
Absolutely. Right. Yep. We'll help verify and consult as much as needed.
All right. And tell us about your services that you have that you offer right now. Got any specials going on?
Well, we're actually doing a free network assessment.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, free network assessment through the month of October.
Okay.
It's valued at $2,500. It's a company partner of ours called Galactic Scan that actually does it.
Okay.
We do like a 10-minute interview. Okay. And we send some links over. There's a couple of tools that'll do some scanning on the network.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And then we'll schedule a time 2 or 3 days later to do a readout of that report. Now, we do limit that to businesses.
Sure, absolutely. Business only.
Right. So it is businesses only. Okay. But it's a great tool to get some outside input on the security of the network. Look for any holes that you have. They do perform a little bit of a penetration test. Sure. To find any gaps in the network and security. Okay. And there's no obligation to buy anything from us. Okay. But either way, it's great information. Even if you have your own in-house IT department, we highly recommend taking advantage of it because they're allowing us to do this as a free service. Sure, absolutely. Okay, fantastic. For more information, where should everybody go? iSafeComplete.com. And if you want to get a hold of us immediately, you can call our office number at 859-200-0428. All right. Bob, thanks for coming in. Yeah, thanks for having me, Randy. Watch for those fishing expeditions, folks. If in doubt, reach out. That's right. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you.